All right, we're recording. So we are going to do our Seattle Summit overview. Christy's reception isn't all that fantastic. Christy, why don't you give me your thoughts on what you thought about the summit, and then we'll talk to everybody else real quick. And hopefully,
okay.
Understand you.
All right. Well, this was my second summit. It was my second summit, and it was my first boot camp ever 5 years ago. So it was really cool to come back full circle. I think I was a brand new sales coordinator the first time I had went. And then this time I got to train on stage with Amy, which was really cool that we got to do that. Kelsey had recorded our training, and that was really cool to get some feedback from people that they said that it kind of changed things for them. So I love what our teams are doing right now, like working together, because clearly that's making an impact. So, Amy and I talk a lot about getting your mind right, and Ray Perkins opened it up. I can't remember what type of class he had gone to. Do you remember what it was? Anyways, he had some really cool things to share, and one of the things that I really liked was he said, who are you going to listen to? You'll only see and hear what you're prepared to see and hear. You know, like how many aha moments have you had, and you're like, you kind of go to your upline and you're like, why didn't you tell me that? And they're like, I did tell you that. So sometimes it really is just like this growth thing where we may not be ready to hear what we're being told right away. So repetition in this business is okay and good. So a lot of times Ashley Dwyer catches me all the time. I'm like, I probably told you this before, but I'm going to tell you again. And if you've got it, great, and she tells me if I've, said it before. So I really liked how he talked about the belief system. And when it comes to everything that we believe, everything that we are right now is based upon our upbringing, our education, and our experience. And you always have to take that in with whoever you're talking to, whoever you're prospecting, whoever you're working with on a team. It's all these things that we have to realize that so many things are in our head. And what may be in our head is not necessarily impacted by someone else. Like I'm always worried, am I stealing people's time? Am I like talking too much? And then I probably am, but like other people may not be worried about it. So realizing the impact that you have based upon your experience, and also the skill set that you can share with people. What do you bring to this business? What are you awesome at? Yes, we have skills that you have to learn within this business, but you also bring like a really cool briefcase of awesome skills. So figure out what that is. Do you guys have anything to say about what Ray said? It was right at the beginning. I just liked his mindset.
Yeah, I just really liked that. What do you bring to the table? Because I think so often we try to compare ourselves with what other leaders in the business are doing. Okay, what's working for Jake Kelly? What's working for Ali Schneider? What's working for all of these other people? And I think that kind of flipped a switch for me. I'm not Ali Schneider. I'm not Jake Kelly. So why would I try to do exactly what they're doing if that's not my strength? And so focusing on what I bring to the table, and obviously like trying to expand that, but I just thought that was a really awesome takeaway, to take lessons and notes from what other people are doing, what's working, what's not working, but ultimately make it your own. It is your own business, so take ownership of that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I really like that. What I got out of Ray as well, he had a lot of really great quotes, and I love quotes, but he also had something poignant to say about your time. You can either waste it, spend it, or invest it. And when I mean wasted, it's like watching mindless television instead of, putting that energy and effort into something a little bit more productive. I mean, we all need a little bit of downtime, but we're either wasting our time, we're spending our time, or investing our time. So I like that. The other thing he said is he's a very positive person. And really, how many times do we talk about only put positive things on Facebook, only greet people with a positive attitude, and really people are drawn to positivity, and so he said we must remain one, number positive, and two, constructive all the time. Don't pay attention to negativity, and negativity has its way of seeping into our daily lives and everything. It's easy to start gossiping about other people, or allow somebody's words to hurt us, but don't pay attention to the negativity, because that will take you down fast. And then he also said today's no is tomorrow's yes. I love that. that's what I had for Ray.
That was good. And he had cancer, you know, and he said, he and his wife were like, there's no way we're even allowing that. Like the way they thought about that was it just wasn't going to impact him. And now he's healthy. And he also said you can be the builder or the wrecker in someone's life. And I really like that one. How are you impacting people's life?
I love that.
Do you have anything?
I think that covers it.
Okay. So the next speaker we had was Dr. David Phillips, and he talked all about athletic performance, but he pretty much did the same presentation that's on the T30 YouTube channel. So I figured we could go over some highlights with him, but I mean, there was a lot of things that he talked about, like how fruits and vegetables impact, you know, your performance and how your performance deserves protection and stuff like that. But this is a video that you guys should absolutely be watching, because when he was going through it, I was like, this is the same thing that's on the T30 page. And he wasn't able to get through all of it because of time. So he even said, like, just go to that. But do you have anything that you want to take away from Dr. David Phillips without teaching a video that's already been recorded?
Ooh, you guys are frozen.
I think the biggest thing there is just like, that's a great tool you can use for anybody that makes the claim that they know everything. Like, that's a great tool to just point them and say, well, you know, here's just something maybe, you know, if you're open to looking at it, it might, you know, it just might be beneficial for your nutritional goals, not necessarily your athletic goals. But then it totally leads into athletic performance too. You know, he's done a great job with breaking it down and showing the benefits of nutrition on performance.
Absolutely.
My favorite thing that he said, and everybody repeated it after he said it, was he's talking science the whole time, and here's the statistics, and here's what the study found, and blah, 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 blah. And then at the very end, he said, and you know what? You don't have to know any of this. All you have to know is your story and what Juice Plus has done for you, and you leave the rest of this to us. And so all you have to do is exactly what Patton just said, just send people that video and use what they say. We don't have to learn it and repeat it. We just have to send it to them and like leave it with our story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
And if anybody's looking for that, we can repost it on our Facebook pages, but they do a Thursday night Zoom call. And so if you go to Mission Driven System at the very top, you can go back and see all the Zoom calls, and you can see the one with Dr. David Phillips, the same one that he did for us at Seattle Summit. It was extraordinary. I've been sending that to all my fitness professional prospects, and they're loving it, absolutely loving it.
And he adds like a really good amount of humor in there too, you know. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's totally worth it. So anything else, unless you guys want to transition to the athlete's corner?
No, let's go ahead and transition. I've got a lot of notes, but I can always write them out. And they're more like I love how he does the correlation between. There's Emily. The correlation between your micro nutrition is the oil in your engine, but the macronutrition is the gas in your engine. So seeing the differences between the two, and you have to have both to be able to function properly. So that was really important, you know. But there's a lot, and he talks a lot about how the variety of produce is just as important as the quality of produce. So watch it.
Yeah, definitely watch it. So with the athlete's corner, they covered, from what I got, they covered a lot of T30 because they're noticing that that's where the most of the impact is when people are looking for some really big changes. And this should be no secret to adopt T30 really soon. Seems like Nutra said something about it being in-house. But they're finding, like these athletes are finding that it typically cuts the results in half. So recovery from weightlifters. And the U.S. bobsled team is doing T30 now. Like, how cool is that? Like, I thought it was cool that there were, like, you know, our capsules were the official supplement for a lot of Olympic teams. But, you know, bobsledders are doing T30. They're understanding the combination between micro and macro. And then Lindsay said that, Lindsay Hale, I think it was her who was talking about utilizing verbiage, where she's been trying to get some of her friends to do this program, and she got this from GoPro. So if you guys are big GoPro people, you probably recognize this. But she says, you know, you're my really good friend. You support me in everything. what I really love for you to do is to support me for the next 4 months and try this program so I can utilize your product story. And she said it's working, because stories are really, really important, but that's an easy way to ask people. So that's all I got for that one.
That was great.
You guys have-
Kelsey and Emily, do you have anything you'd like to add to the Athletes Corner? Did you get anything else out of that one? Okay.
Hi, guys.
Hi. All right.
Hi. Athletes Corner, I actually wrote down the bobsled thing. I thought that was amazing, Christy. I thought it was really cool because I didn't know that they were, for the T30, I knew that they were like Olympic athletes had been taking the capsules and taking the products, but I didn't know they were in the programs. And I think that's pretty cool. And I'm dealing with people trying to debunk everything that I'm working forward to right now. So he's right here. So I'm trying to work on that. But
that's
yeah.
And Dr. Phillips really discussed that about the importance of, the research doesn't lie. So people can try and debunk it all they want, but really go to the research. And, like I said to you before, do you think the National Institutes of Health, MD Anderson, UCLA, BYU, Yale University, all these great big universities would put their names on the line if this was crap? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So people can say all they want about what they think about the research. And, people go to blogs. I get that all the time. Well, read this blog. This is what this blog says. And it's like, really? So you're going to take what a blog says over what like clinical research that's published in peer-reviewed journals. And the cool thing is that Dr. Phillips discusses how that happens, how the research goes in front of a panel, and if there's any issue with it, it gets tossed out. So if that's the case, and we have 36 clinical studies that are published, that kind of changes the game. So
totally.
What cracks me up is, like people talk about debunking stuff, but then do they research any of the crap products that they already use? Do they research the whey protein that they have and where that comes from, the synthetic crap that's in there and the supplements that they're using? My argument would be from a medical standpoint, and from that standpoint, they probably don't. They might look at the reviews from people that use it themselves and the testimonials and the websites and see what it is in it and all that stuff. But 90% of the stuff that's on the label, you don't even know what it is. You can't read it. And it's a lot of stuff that you have no idea what the long-term impacts are to your body. So if people try to debunk it, just know that at the end of the day, when you're using Juice Plus, like at least you know exactly what's going into your body and that it's actually doing good things for you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Thanks. He's in the room right now. He's getting changed. So he's hearing everyone.
He'll get it eventually. He'll get it eventually. So I know he doesn't take supplements, but that goes for his junk food. Does he know where the food is coming from? Does he know, is it GMO? Is it, how processed? I mean, you could go with every little thing. What about the beer? Does he know,
Oh,
I know.
He said that his research, he couldn't find any was his issue. So
On what?
He couldn't find anything on Juice Plus that wasn't on the Juice Plus website.
Yeah, that's because we pay for the research. We can show him. We'll show him. We'll give him some PDFs.
Yeah. I mean,
but I like the skepticism. It's good.
It's all on the Juice Plus website for a reason, and it's there because we want to show people the research. So,
it has direct links to the journal. So,
or just prove us wrong. Go get your blood tested, and then 4 months later, get it tested again.
I like that too.
So,
absolutely.
The blood doesn't lie, so we'll see what happens.
Absolutely.
So we also had myth busting with Juice Plus and Tower Garden stuff, and there was a lot of stuff. They talked about the ORAC values and how much vitamin K is and stuff. Like, you guys get these tough questions all the time. I don't know if it's necessarily something that we need to go into unless I hear from Emily, Kelsey now. But the one thing I thought that was kind of cool is the chiropractor, Dr. John Dupenthaler. He talked about how, as a chiropractor, he creates like tools, like just a sheet of paper with QR codes that are links to videos with for certain topics. So he just hands them a paper and says, here, pick a video that speaks to you and just watch that. And then let me know when we can touch base in like a day or two, and we'll talk about the video that you watched. So that's kind of cool. They shred, or, the children's health studies. So you start looking at the videos that you typically send out a lot. And then you can just, send them a PDF if you work that way. I mean, I don't know a lot of people who use QR codes really, but that is kind of nice to just pique their interest and be like, well, here, you just look at this and see all the categories that we cover. And that may get them to look at more. So I just thought that was kind of neat. Did you guys get anything else from that?
That was good.
Okay.
Emily, did you have anything you want to add?
No, I'm good.
They covered Tower Garden a little bit. They gave some lessons learned as far as the Tower Garden goes. But I thought Sherry Jacqua, I think is how you say her last name, she's just...
Christy's frozen. Is everybody frozen? Maybe it's me.
...than I've ever thought about utilizing a Tower Garden for. She put one in the auction for her daughter's school. They donated one to all the grown food to a food bank like the kids do, so it really gets them involved. And then she also did a mindful lunch with teachers. So she brought in mason jar salads to go to talk to teachers about their health. And eventually some came to some like Tower Garden. They actually went to a Stephen Ritz event, which, I mean, if you go to that, you're sold. But I thought it was really interesting to see how she incorporated Tower Garden stuff. So if that's something that you want to do, we can always plug you in with that sideline buddy too. And you can see, what other things that she's doing with Tower Garden. Like, she's pretty much owning it.
That's good.
Okay.
All right.
With the Tower Garden,
What's that?
sorry. With the Tower Garden thing, I remember being at the Rio Dosa Roundup in southern, New Mexico, and them saying that there's a program where you could go for any subject on anything for the Tower Garden from grades K through 12, and there's a program utilizing the Tower Garden. So if you do want to go to schools, there's a program that goes along with it. I don't remember the program, but I could probably find it in my notes.
University. That was the Buck University one. I need to find out more information about that because I've never utilized it, but I think it would be brilliant so that we can really get that going within just a second. That we can get that utilized within the schools.
Yeah.
I was wondering about with nurseries. There's a whole bunch of them in Colorado Springs. I was wondering about maybe bringing cards to nurseries and just seeing if people if that'll help. I don't know if it would, but you could always try.
Absolutely. I mean, I think you have a really wide market with that. And you can I always say Tower Garden is your gateway drug to Juice Plus too. So if they don't get Tower Garden, you can always, pull that other card out and share Juice Plus with them. So, but yeah, whatever ideas you have with Tower Garden, it's still so new. So, and the schools, they're about to open back up. So interesting to see what you can get teachers to do, with the start of the school year, because they're ready to be creative now, It's not the end of the year where they just want to push the kids out the door.
Yeah, I agree. This is the most perfect time to be going. I'm gonna. I'd already set the stage for my kid's school already, and she wants to talk about it. So this is a perfect time to start calling administrators who are starting to come back to school already.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Did you guys have anything on customer care, Amy?
No, just take care of your customers.
Just take care of your customers, yeah.
Take care of your customers. That's really what it was. Yeah, I mean, we always know that it's more expensive to get new customers than it is to keep old ones. So spend the time taking care of your customers because you never know when they might become new distributors for you.
Yeah. What did you guys get from the Ironman to NMD with Heidi Phillips? Do you remember that one?
Oh, yeah. I remember that one. She was an Ironman. Go get him. That she it's very interesting to hear her speak because at any one time we can get down on ourselves when we don't think things are going the way that we want them to go, and it's how we rise up to the occasion and how do we push through the adversity that really defines who we are and what we're capable of doing. That's what I really got out of her. And when she wills, when she was sick and tired of, and what I really got out of it was she was in her husband's shadow and she didn't like it. She wanted to be her own person, but she wanted to be the person that people were wanting to talk to and that wanted to be to respect. And so, so she did it. She just went out because, if you want something to change and because you don't like how things are going, you got to go out and make that change yourself. That's what I got out of it.
Yeah.
So I really like the idea, looking at being from the very beginning standpoint to looking at people who've been in it for 8, 10, 15, 20 years. It kind of looks like you kind of just walked in just like that. Like there was no struggles. And I know there are, but it's good to see it from, yeah, I did struggle. This is what happened. And then the story of how she struggled I liked it. I thought it was kind of motivational. Like, okay, everybody goes through this. I'm not the only one. So I liked it.
Yeah. Is Kelsey still on there?
No, she had to go.
I think the beauty of Heidi Phillips' conversation was, like, if you take a real hard look at things that make you emotional and like particularly like emotionally distressed in your own life, and you want to fix those things, like if you take a look at it and you say, hey, how am I going to fix this stuff? Which is what it took her doing. Like, she didn't know what was going on. She didn't know what was wrong at first, and it like plagued her and it slowed her down. But once she took a real hard look of what was bothering her, she found a way to make a difference and make a change, right? And fortunately, like, what she sort of showed through her talk is that Juice Plus is a great vehicle for a lot of change in your life, right? Whether it's community that you want to be a part of, or whether it's financial gain, or whether it's better health, or whether it's any number of things. Like, Juice Plus can be a vehicle for that stuff. And that's pretty powerful when you take a look at like what it did for her. Like, I mean, she had this huge like L on her head saying like, I felt like a loser in one of her photos, but she was able to, overcome that because she used Juice Plus as a way to like get her confidence back and to like propel herself forward in life, not just in her business.
Yeah. And she talked about creating a training plan. She created training plans for people to go through a marathon, and people were, a triathlon, and people were spending 3 hours a day just running, and she's like, if we just did that with our business, like, she gave it a year. She decided to give it an honest year and treat it actually like a business, and it paid her like one. And she talked about how she spent like $1,850 just on getting into investing into participating in an Ironman that she never got paid back from, versus a $50 virtual franchise investment. So, Amy, if we had 5 more minutes, do you think that we could wrap it up in 5?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So Jay Martin, he nailed it. I mean, he came and he knocked it out of the park. My team knows this, I've never taken so many notes with Jay Martin. I usually go have lunch. Like, he was amazing. He talked about being in the right place at the right time, taking control. We have 2 things. You can help people take control of their health, and they can take care of their wealth. And he talked about how pretty much we're going to be investing. So we're going to need like a second job to pay for our insurance, to pay for our healthcare coverage soon. And we have something to help people not have to worry about that sort of thing. It's the 2 biggest problems that we face. And if you talk about risk to reward, he said, from the Children's Health Study, that's all you have to look at. It's a 70% chance that kids are going to they're going to school, or they're missing less sick days. Their parents are missing less work days. 90% are noticing that they're more aware of their health. They're noticing difference in every single day by taking this for $2.38 a day. Like, risk versus reward. Like, and the risk is there is no risk. If people don't like their Juice Plus, they can mail it back, whatever's not opened. So considering that, and he always has these really great one-liners, and I liked it. He said, "Lighten up, and the sales will brighten up." He's always good with that kind of stuff. Anything with Jim Martin?
Yeah, the Children's Health Study thing, when he was talking about it, I thought it was pretty powerful that you said that, like you can say to people that what they've noticed with the children's health study, like what they've taken away from it, is that you can confidently tell parents that 70% of kids are going to miss less days of school or work. 70% are going to do better in school and on the playing field. And 90% of not only kids, but also the parents are at a minimum going to be more aware of their health. 90%. So if you introduce Juice Plus to anybody, what they've noticed is that 90% of the populace becomes at least more aware of their health and more willing to do something about it, which is huge, right? I mean, that's what, like for the majority, at least from Christy's perspective, that's her mission, right? Is to like spread the gift of nutrition around the world. And so I thought that was pretty neat. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Amy.
Oh, no. That was awesome. I would just, my takeaway, and I posted this on our page, was we've gone from $10 million to $600 million in sales since we've started.
2 million to 600 million.
Oh, 2 million, sorry. 2 million, yeah. 600 million. And it's just growing. I mean, we're going to hit the 1 billion point very, very quickly. So we're growing fast, people. That's what that told me.
Yeah.
That's what that told me.
So they talk a lot about GoPro.
Really,
if you haven't read the book,
read it. If you haven't read it, read it.
And then if you
I'm
read
on
it,
page 70
more times.
Just do it.
Awesome.
Just do it.
I read it on the plane.
The key is to understand all the skill sets.
Yes. And rate yourself. Well, I thought that was really cool. They had us write down the 7 skill sets. So if you don't know them, figure it out. And then rank yourself 1 to 10. Where are you strongest and where are you weakest? And then work on it. I thought that was awesome.
And then I took Christy's page and I looked at her rankings and said, this is what I think of your rankings. Which I think is valuable too, because, an outside perspective gave a very different opinion of what she's good at.
They're completely opposite.
So
yeah.
Here's the thing though, this is everyone's homework assignment. Go figure out what the 7 skill sets are and then rank yourself and then share it with your upline. Or share it with us, because I think that is going to be the key.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be right there.
And honestly, I feel like that was probably the most important stuff.
I got something
okay.
from image, right? I think one of the very first things that was talked about during the image portion was the beginning of anything is respect, right? And he talked about training for those of you that have been in the military or whose husbands are in the military, and how the first thing they do is break you down and build discipline and they build respect. And so, this sort of goes back to what you were talking about, Emily. Not everyone's going to respect the Juice Plus business. Not everyone's going to respect the Juice Plus products, and that's okay. Eventually, hopefully they will, and they'll come around, and usually a no turns into a yes, but they may not ever. But that part isn't the important part when it comes to respect. You let that go, right? No's are just no's, and that's better for you because you can move on to somebody who's going to say yes, right? So when there's a no, that's a good thing, which is what Go for No was all about. But what's really cool and what's really important is when you respect your own business and you respect your own ability to perform in your business, right? When you treat your business like a business and you give it the respect that it's due, and you decide that I'm going to be disciplined in this and I'm going to work hard at it, which is what I saw Christy do when she made it to NMD. She took on the discipline that it took, and she allocated hours to every single day towards her business, even if it was 1 hour one day and 10 hours another day. She had it on the calendar and she held herself to it, and she was very deliberate. That's what the respect is about. And I think that's what's going to make you successful, is that's when you start treating it like a business. And that's when your business is going to flourish, is when you take the time, you dedicate it to it. And if you can only do 1 hour a day, then just be honest with yourself and say, okay, I've got 1 hour, but during that hour, I'm solely focused on this. I thought that was kind of neat and kind of powerful, and it resonated with me because, with any training I've done prepping for anything in the military, when I've been successful is when I dedicated the right amount of time that I thought I needed to be successful.
But I am actually really excited about, I'm for those of you who haven't got an image, I recommend it as somebody who just went to their first image. I'm going to another one August 27th, and I was telling Seth about it, my boyfriend, for those of you who don't know, and his face lit up, and he's like, I really want to go. I want to see this guy, and then I told him the price. He's like, I can read it on a book. And I was like, no, you're going. If I have to drag you and pay for you, you're going. You cannot find it in a book. So he's really excited, and he wants to go for himself, which is something that Tammy had brought up. One of, what are they called? Cross people.
Cross.
Yep, sideline.
Cross coaching.
Thank you, sidelines.
Really your
I've got,
yeah.
I've got two other things, unless somebody else wants to comment. So one that I thought was really good is he asked the question, like, what are you aggressive about in life? You know, and that made me like take a step back and think, okay, what am I aggressive about? Like, are you aggressive when, you know, like, are you aggressive with your business? Are you going after it every day? Are you aggressive with your health? Like, are you making sure that you eat the right foods or whatever? You know, because I'll bet when something goes wrong somewhere in your life, you're aggressive about complaining about it, right? You're like, oh man, that's so stupid, and this was dumb, and what the heck, why does this have to happen, and blah, 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 and you get aggressive and you get like emotional and passionate about it. Well, shift that aggressiveness towards the things that you want to be positive in your life, you know? And I think that, you know, just looking at that from that type of perspective, like, can change the way you think in terms of like passion, right? Like, you can be passionate about things that are negative in your life, or you can take that passion and you can use it in a positive way towards the things that are positive in your life and the things that you want out of life, right? So that was one thing. And then the other thing was, like, don't beg people to come play, right? Like, nobody wants to be on the team where you can be a walk-on and be a starting player on the team from day one, right? They want to be on the team where it's like the exclusive team where you've got to work your butt off and you only get to start if you're one of the best. And, you know, like, they want to go to that team because that's the team that wins national championships, right? So don't beg people to be on your team. Like, make them want to be on it. And how do you do that? I think that's with the passion that you put forward with the business. You know, like, you say, hey, look, like, this train is moving forward with or without you. Like, and I've told you, you know, I want to support her in her business, but I can't do it for her. And I'm like, look, you're not doing anything for her. Her business is going to be successful with or without you. It doesn't matter. You're one person, but she's trying to offer you an opportunity that could maybe do good things for you, you know, and could help you be successful in life, or maybe help you attain some of the goals that you have in life. And that, like, that changed perspectives. Like, that's when, you know, we had a couple people join the team. Like, one of my team members, that was the reason she joined the team, was because I said that, you know, that alone, I think. And so, so something to think about.
All right. Anything else before Amy Meyer gets to take her daughter to go celebrate her birthday?
I have a couple other things first. So what we didn't acknowledge is the fact that we had the opportunity to get on stage. You guys can see it. But the feedback that we got, which we think is so natural, just the chemistry within our teams and being able to cross-coach and being able to grow these amazing leaders, our NMD selects. I've never seen so many people so excited about it. It was really touching and heartwarming for people to literally, we were tubing down the river and like, she was hammered, but this is just her life. Like, she literally was like, this is going to change our business. And she's like freaking out about it. She's so excited. We're like, whoa, slow it down. So we're going to be doing some more, I think, coaching of potential coaches so that we can explain to them what it was that we really did. But I think, you know, Christy could attest, people kept coming up saying, you guys did a great job. And it's not that we did anything exceptional. We just shared what we've been doing, and who knew that what we were doing.
It was exceptional. It was exceptional. Here's the thing, right? Like, and I might be biased because, you know, like, because I love Amy and Christy. But honestly, like, they had the best presentation, hands down. And the reason for that is, like, they were passed across teams, and collaborating with one another is effective. And it has been. Like, it's amazing. And so what I would tell you guys is, like, when you're talking to your other teammates or you're talking to whoever, like, make sure that people take advantage of it. Like, because this cross coaching stuff like has so much potential to be really, really effective. And I know that people have like blown off some of this stuff, like I know Christy's been blown off a couple of times. I'm sure Amy has been too, by team members that said they were going to be on these calls for cross coaching and then they didn't show up. And so like, what a waste. I mean, like these two are amazing at teaching this business, and like everyone at conference like acknowledges that. And that's the worst part, right? Is like all these people at conference are like going up to Christy and Amy and they're like, wow, you're amazing. And they want to be a part of that, but they are part of the team. You know what I mean? Like they are part of these two teams, and like the priorities at least are towards you guys, to make your guys' business stronger. Christy allocates hours in her day just to all of you. Just all of you. And I'm sure Amy does the same thing. And if there's white space on her calendar, Christy will allocate that time to anyone who reaches out to her, because that's just the way she is. So it could be from Team Ninja. It could be from whatever other teams there are, all these other teams that are out there. They reach out to Christy and they want help, and she'll get on the phone. And I'm like, man, like that is awful. If your white space isn't filled with your own team or the team that you're cross-coaching with, like that's awful. Like that means they aren't taking advantage of you. And other people will recognize your talents and your abilities and like how much value you can add to their business. So take advantage of it and encourage your teammates to take advantage of it.
Use and abuse us, guys.
That's pretty cool. And we offer it all the time. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Patton, for that. The last one that we had that really, we had legacy panels. We had people coming up with panels. But what really resonated with me was Joy Kelly standing up. And her topic was GYST, which is get your SHIT together. So for those little ones out there who can't spell yet, but get it together, people. And it was fantastic because she really did some great exercises on, just talking about the vehicle, the mindset, the skill set, how it all rolls together, which is really what is all about GoPro. But Joy Kelly has this amazing way of just pulling it all together, pulling everything that we learned together. So Emily and Christy, do you have anything in particular about GYST?
My one thing that I loved everything about Joy, but one of the things I loved, she said, use your cell phone so much that it has to be a landline because you always have to have it charging.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I love that about what she said too. Yes. And the other thing, Emily, did you have anything you wanted to add? And then we're going to wrap this up.
No, I like Joy's a lot, but I don't really remember her presentation. I'd have to look at my notes. I don't remember her presentation. Like hers didn't really stick out to me as much as other people's did.
Well,
I don't know why.
The one that said, what are the seven skill sets? And so she got a lot of interaction and a lot of ways for us to just be active with each other. But the one last thing I wanted to add is Chris and Nikki Cotton had an awesome opportunity to share their story with us during lunch and really kind of how to talk to people. One of the things that Chris Cotton said was the definition of residual income is the capacity of being paid for the rest of your life on the next conversation. And that really resonated with me because a lot of people don't understand the value in residual income. They don't understand why we are a multitude of different kinds of businesses wrapped into one little package with a beautiful pink bow or a blue bow. It doesn't matter what color the bow is. But the fact is that residual income is so powerful. It has this opportunity to provide us this lifestyle that, seriously, I've been on vacation now for 3 weeks, and then I got to go to Seattle and really Leavenworth, but spend time with these amazing people. And I didn't have to worry about how much it cost because I know that I have this awesome residual income that's coming in that's going to pay for it. So I really urge you guys to be bold in how you talk to people and make everything a conversation. Really, the question of the day is always going to be, how many times today have you told your business story? How many times today have you told your product story?
Right.
And it's so easy to do that. It can be done in any conversation. It just means you got to goose. You got to get out of the house. So get out of the house and really make yourself known because that's how you're going to meet new contact. And if you can't get out of the house, social media is powerful. And we heard that from the ninjas. They use a lot of social media skills. So do you have anything you want to add, Christy?
No. Do you?
I've got a ton more I could add.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
It was probably one of the best. I've only been to a couple of these type of events and stuff, but this was definitely the best one in terms of like instructional, you know, like very deliberate, like procedural methods of how to get better at your business. But a couple things that like resonated with me real quick is like, one is I hear from a lot of particularly mothers, right, that like it's tough to, and I even hear it from my buddies whose wives are in the business. They're like, man, my wife is dedicating so much time to this business and it's taken away from the family. It's taken away from time for me and whatever. And one thing that was said was like teaching your kids to win, you know, and teaching your team and your family how to win, you know. And so one of the things that it might have been Joy, I don't remember who it was, that they mentioned was like, hey, like, you know, mommy is going to be working to get her business to point B, whether that's senior sales coordinator or NMD or whatever. And then we're going to Disney. And that's going to be success for us is when we go to Disney. So, you know, that's why I'm taking time away from the family. That's why I'm taking away time from you guys right now, kids, because we're going to go to Disney and we need to win. Like, so if you want, you know, if you want to go to Disney, you need to help me win by saying, hey, mom, like, what have you done today to, you know, to excel your Juice Plus business? Like, what have you done today to, you know, to get more customers, to get more teammates, to help your team be winners, you know? And then the other thing
that pattern real quick, when you say that, to also to have a goal in mind, but have a date in mind that says, I am going to be an NMD by St. Louis, and then we're going to Disney, because then it's validated. It's solid, you know, in your heart, everybody around you knows it, that that's what you're going for. And you're going to work as hard as you possibly can for that goal.
And then tell as many people as possible. That way you have to be accountable to it, you know. Absolutely. like this, you know, I'm leaving the military and I'm looking at opening an indoor skydiving facility in Hawaii. And what an outlandish, like, crazy goal, you know, like I have no idea if it's going to happen or not, but I'm telling everybody I can, because at the end of the day, like, I don't want to let them down, and that'll help me, like, try to, you know, make sure that I follow through with it as best I can, you know.
Better. So, I need to come to Hawaii to visit.
I know. I've told everybody, and I'm like, gosh, like, I'm going to feel really stupid if this doesn't happen.
Tell me that, Christy, don't tell anybody. Shh. And I was like, yeah, but no one's going to hold you accountable if I don't say something.
I love it.
So, the last thing I'll say, and I know we're probably short for time, is the image thing. You know, the guy that runs the image, he was a dog handler in Vietnam. And he said something to the effect of, whatever you are runs down the leash, right? Mm-hmm. So however you are feeling, like if you're scared, if you're excited, if you're anxious, like the dog, like, feels that emotion and they react accordingly, you know? And I've seen that with Christy. Like if Halo is outside and someone walks in the yard and Christy thinks Halo's going to go after him, she'll, like, yell, no, no, no. And then Halo's, like, on edge and she starts running because she's like, oh shit. You know, Christy thinks there's trouble, so I think there's trouble, and I'm going for him. And I'm like, Christy, you can't react like that, because then Halo's going to. She's a helicopter mom. The same thing goes for your team, right? And for your prospects with your customers. Like, if you're excited about Juice Plus, like, they're more likely to be excited. You know, like, there's nobody that when Christy talks to him about Juice Plus, and Christy, you know, like, hasn't always been this way about Juice Plus. Like, she wasn't always, like, really, like, oh man, like, so bubbly and excitable about it. But when she talks to people about it, like, they listen. Mm-hmm. Like, even if they don't like it or they don't believe in it and they aren't going to be, like, they listen because they're like, oh my God, like, this girl's really excited about this. Like, it must be something. There must be something to it. I've got to at least hear her out, you know?
Yeah, she's gorgeous. So, like, who wouldn't just sit there and
So whoever you are and whatever you're feeling, like, that runs down the leash. Like, think of that, you know, like, people, like, are gonna, you know, and your team is gonna be the same way. Like, if you have 3 or 4 people underneath you and you're not excited about your business and you're not, like, jumping at it, it's like the team captain or the head coach. Like, if they aren't excited and they aren't whatever, then what's the team gonna be? You know, they're gonna be like, oh wow, the coach doesn't even believe in us. You know, the team captain doesn't believe in us. Why should we believe in ourselves? So, you know, use that in your daily sort of thought process too, and affirmations or whatever you do. That's all I got. I'll stop there. Sorry.
All right.
Yeah. All right, Amy, take your kids to the pool, but you guys get to a boot camp. Boot camps are different than conferences. You get to be right next to the big wigs, you know, like you can have lunch with Dr. David Phillips. You can sit next to Mitra Rai. Like you can do, and they want to help you. Like you don't get that so much at conference. And there's a lot more time for fun at boot camps. Floating down a river with all these club NMDs, pretty awesome.
They're smoking.
Boxed wine was a lot of fun.
Trash.
That was only one or two of them.
But
Off the river. But yeah, I mean, we went, there was line dancing and karaoke and like, you know, it was just, the food was incredible. Like it was an exceptional experience. And I love the intimacy of just having a small venue of people, you know, where, I mean, it was maxed out. They were over capacity. They have an overflow room. I mean, that's how many people want to come because they loved it. They always love Seattle Cinnamon. It's in this most cutest little Bavarian town ever. So, all right. Well, we hope you guys get to a boot camp soon. But if anything, for goodness sakes, please come to St. Louis because that's your bread and butter right there. You have to be at conference to really understand the magnitude of this company, the magnitude of this business, and really, it's an awesome way to get to see all your sideline buddies and have a family reunion.
And bring your kids. It's kids friendly. Don't use them as your excuse. Use them as your why.
Exactly.
All right. I don't have any kids, so.
That's okay. You can bring your
that man of yours who's sitting in that room with you.
Oh, he's gone, but he can't take leave.
Oh, well, have a great night, everybody. I'm out. I got to stop recording, and I hope you guys have a great evening.
Bye.